Liverpool has shocked the world with the immense amount of transfer fees that they have paid this transfer window. Last season, literally a donut that they spent. Zero P's spent in the transfer window. Instead, they actually sold players like Carvalho. Now, this season, they went all out spending a fat amount of money. 295 million from 0 to 295 million in the span of a year is absolutely immense. Now, they did have around 200 million go out with, big sales like Luis Diaz and Kwanzaa to Leverkusen, but they also broke a record with the signing of Wirtz. They went out and got Ekitike as a striker, which is a big boy fee of around 80 million. So, how has Liverpool gone from being with FSG, one of the cheapest owners in the Big Six, to being the top spenders in the transfer window? Well, for one, they were pretty smart with the transfer outs. They got a big fee from Luis Diaz. They got a big fee from Kwanzaa. Their net spend isn't too bad, especially after Darwin Nunez just got sold to Saudi for, around 56 million. Now, another reason is FSG also has a big investment with Saudi PIF. They invest into FSG. So FSG not only has their own money, they've actually received big investments from Saudi. So they have a lot of money to play with. And with the PSR rules, and they've got a lot of sales going, and they've got, profits on, the likes of Luis Diaz and Kwanzaa. Obviously a bit of a loss with the Darwin Nunez one, but they still got a pretty big fee. I thought that they would have gotten. It would have been 40 million. But I believe the big reason why FSG even decided to invest has to do with the Boston Red Sox trade deadline deal of Rafael Devers, because they had signed him and previously on a 10-year, 313 million contract extension. It looked like he was going to be a lifetime Red Sox. But FSG, it was reported that they wanted to avoid this Dodger era. And when I say this Dodger era, it's they've invested a lot of money, these Dodgers, in the likes of Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, Yamamoto, Roki Sasaki, Mookie Betts, Will Smith. All of these stars are going to be with the Dodgers, in their prime for the next, 3 to 8 years. And, guaranteed 3 years for most of these. I feel like Mookie Betts, he's kind of having a bad season. A lot of these other guys like Max Muncy, they won't be the same player in the 3-4 years. So the Boston Red Sox have a really good young core, and Rafael Devers was the main guy who was getting paid tons of money when it came to being in the lineup. And Alex Bregman, a third baseman that has a better glove than Devers, ends up coming into the Boston Red Sox, and Devers had to either decide on playing first base or being a DH, which he was very unhappy about. So the Boston Red Sox said, you know what? We're going to develop our young talent. We're going to trade Rafael Devers, and we're going to kind of delay our time to compete, our time to contend into, outlasting the Dodgers, because the Dodgers have, let's say a 3 to 5 year window to win now. And Boston feels like they can, wait 2-3 more years to actually contend for the World Series. I know they're currently in a playoff position, but we all know they're not going to win a championship. But it's going to work out well for the young players to get some playoff experience, like Campbell, Mayer, all of these young guys getting playoff experience is quite, important for their development. So they'll be ahead of schedule if they make the playoffs this season, and they've already locked down a few of their younger guys long term. But this Devers, contract saving money of 250 million is going to play a big part in Liverpool even investing those 90 million out of their own pocket. So they saved 250 million, and they decided to go invest with Liverpool because Liverpool just won, the Premier League. They went to penalties to the actual winner of the Champions League, and they know they have a lineup right now, like, let's say, the Dodgers, and if they invest a little bit more, the Dodgers went out and got themselves an elite third baseman and an elite starting pitcher and an elite outfielder. We all know it'd be over for the league. So that's what Liverpool said. Liverpool said, what? Imagine if we got one more attacking midfielder. What if we replace, Trent with another version of Trent? Let's get a fullback going. We're a striker away. That's what they told us. And they went out and got all of that. So Liverpool played, FSG played their cards right. They, in my opinion, they've kind of shown the Cronkies, how to kind of invest with their teams. You know what? The Dodgers are looking like they're going to be a dynasty. You know what we're going to do? We're going to take away and save money with a cancerous player like Rafael Devers, who we don't even need. We're going to save $250 million. We don't have to pay him that. That's all on the Giants. And then we're going to go invest a little bit of that into Liverpool. And now they can go and lock down their other, top prospect in Christian Campbell long term. So they've really, in my opinion, I give them a lot of credit, FSG, because they have, Saudi investment. But not only that, they've played their cards right. They've sold players they don't need. They feel like they don't need. And Darwin Nunez, Luis Diaz, Kwanzaa's been sold. Tons of players. And they can still even buy. This is why, with all of this going on, Liverpool still have the money to go out and get a big boy player like Isak. They still want to get Isak. They still want to get a top winger in like the likes of Barcola, even Leao, even Rodrigo's an option. They have all this money to play with because FSG has shown everyone how to be a proper owner. Man City could not dream of being able to not spend a single penny on transfers like Liverpool did last season and still managed to win the league. Imagine next season, Man City finish, let's say, third place, right? Pep Guardiola leaves. They bring in a new manager, whoever it is, and they don't spend any money. They win the league. That wouldn't happen because they're not properly ran by smart people like Liverpool. And this is coming from a non-City, non-Liverpool fan. Because City have owners that will spend $500 million and they'll get away with it, pushing the brinks of the financial fair play rules. FSG allocated their funds. They won a transfer window without buying a single player, brought in the right manager, boom, they won the title. Boom, you go to Pens with the Champions League winner. That's a successful season. As an Arsenal fan, if next season, they go to Pens, they have Liverpool's past season, I'm taking that. I'm celebrating, But top credits to FSG here. The strategy they've used, using investments from Saudi, selling the players that they don't feel like they don't need for next year. A $94 million net spend is not bad at all, considering they had a top 5, record-breaking transfer fee in the Premier League. So I just want to say, Liverpool fans, you really need to be apologizing to FSG because a year ago they were asking for their heads. Now they're like, where's all this money came from? FSG Masterclass. Well, it's coming from the savings of Rafael Devers, and it's a win-win for Boston because Boston have actually improved, overtaken the Yankees, and they've locked down young talents like Christian Campbell, and they're looking like a team that has a good direction right now, and Liverpool does too. So Boston Red Sox fans as well were mad at FSG for trading Devers, but now both the Red Sox and Liverpool are looking like they have bright futures. So this is why, apologies are in demand. But anyways, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below what you think about FSG, how they've handled Boston and Liverpool. I feel like this is coming from, a guy who's a fanatic of both rival teams, Yankees and Arsenal. And I'm telling you, ownership's done fantastic. Not like the Kroenkes, not like the Steinbrenner family. And FSG, you got to tip your cap when there's great ownership. You can't always criticize. But anyways, thank you guys for watching.